Hello, hello, hello. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, everybody. Can you hear me now? Okay, I think you should be able to hear me now. I don't know what the heck happened there. That was really weird. Um, Let me just check that everything is good. I think we should be good now, but that was very strange. I'm sorry about that. That's never happened before. Looks like I'm only coming out of one side though, so let me make this mono, and now we should be good. Okay, sorry guys. Technology. I don't know why that wasn't working. That's never happened before. Um, Getting back to normal then. How's it going? This is Josh with WA Production here on Friday, December 11th, at least where I am. Um, it's been another week and we're almost to the end of 2020. I'm glad you guys are here with me. We are going to be doing another live stream feedback session again here in a little bit. And first, we're going to start though with a production session as I've been doing these last several weeks. Um, just a reminder, so if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, you need to join our Discord server, which the link is above my head. That way we can communicate and you can send in your track feedback. I also hope that what I'm going to show you today in my DAW will lead you to ask some questions. And there's a live stream Q&A channel in the server where you can submit those questions, and I'll be happy to show you stuff. If it's like, hey, how do you do this or whatever, just like submit the question and I'll go through whatever I can. When you're submitting tracks for feedback, which you can start doing now, just don't send it more than once. We only accept SoundCloud links preferably. Dropbox is okay, but no videos, no YouTube. And I will try to get to as many of them as I can. Thank you guys for your patience. If there's ever any audio or video issues, just let me know, either on Discord, or I try to also check the YouTube chat, and I will try and fix it as soon as I can. But today, I'm going to be jumping into everybody's favorite DAW, except for all of our, not DAW, plugin, except for all the plugins we sell, of course, but Serum here. Today, I'm going to do a little bit of sound design. So maybe this will be a little basic for some of you. If it is, shoot in some questions and I'll try and make it a little bit more advanced for you. But I'm going to start with how I approach beginning sound design pretty much always. And that all begins with the ADSR envelope, at least the way I do it. So for those who aren't super familiar with sound design or with plugins and synths and all of that, the ADSR stands for attack, decay, sustain, and release. And you can see it. The reason I chose Serum is because you can see it visually, which is nice. There's other plugins that do that as well, but figured I'd choose the one that probably more of you have. You can actually see it right here. This is the attack, decay, sustain, release. They also have a hold parameter, which I'm not going to go too into. But basically, what ADSR is, it's an envelope, or essentially a way you can control how certain things behave over time. What that means is that you can put an ADSR envelope on many different parameters. I'm going to focus first on putting it on the amplitude of the sound, which basically controls how the volume of the sound behaves over the course of time. And so what ADSR does and means is, firstly, and again, I'm going to kind of explain this in the context of putting it on amplitude. You can put it on pitch. You can put it on pretty much any of these parameters. I mean, I can drag it onto whatever I want, and you should use it on several things. But for now, I'm going to be talking about the amplitude envelope specifically. So attack is how long it takes from the beginning of a sound to get to the loudest part of the sound. So a pluck will probably have a very short attack, whereas a swell, like a pad that rises over time, will probably have a longer attack. And I'll show you some examples. Right now I've just got a saw wave. And right now I've got a saw wave that just has no attack and the highest possible sustain. So it's just going to, and no release. So what decay is, and I'm going to put the sustain down so you can see it better. But so decay is how long it takes to go from the highest point to the sustain level. The sustain level is what it basically holds at. As long as you're holding down the key, or the note is playing, it's what it sustains at. And so basically, if you've got a plucky sound, it's how the decay is the amount of time it takes to go from that loud transient to just where it's going to hold at for the rest of the sound. And then the release is how long it takes to go from where the sustain is to zero volume, to completely silent, after you release the key. So here's the difference. If I have no release, it sounds like this when I let go. If I have a bunch of release, it sounds like this when I let go. So that's the difference of that. So the reason this is so important, and I even start with this before I typically even start messing around with the sound of the sound, if that makes sense. I don't even really focus on the character of the sound, the different sound waves, or the actual sound design before I've kind of at least had a starting point of how the amplitude envelope should behave. And that's just because I want to be listening to it as somebody's asking me to make it louder. Can you specify whether you want my voice louder or the sound louder or both? Thank you. So I want to be using a pluck. I want to be using okay, so serum is low in volume. So yeah, let's see, maybe that'll, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't clipping, but yeah, let me know if that works. Anyway, so I want to be, working with either a sustained sound or a pluck sound or whatever kind of sound I want it to be before I even really get into how the timbre of the sound should sound. So I'll just show you some examples of how you can mess with this. So firstly, if I just want a traditional sustained sound that just plays at its loudest volume the entire time, I just put the sustain all the way up, and that's it, and I let go, and there's no release. If I want it to have some release and to kind of slowly go away as I let go, that's how I can do that. So jumping into that further, let's say I want to make a pluck. There's several ways you can do it, but the most simple, let's just bring the sustain all the way down. So basically, the sustain level is silence. So it's going to go from our highest point, and the decay time is how long it's going to take to go down to silence. If you want it to be pretty plucky, have that kind of be short. So we can also create kind of like a wobbly pluck if we have a little bit of a tack. So, there's all sorts of different ways you can do that. You can have it take longer here. And you can, the release at this point doesn't make any difference because your decay is kind of acting like a release, sort of. Another way you can do it is, I don't know, I mean, you can have a long release, and you can basically, if you play it staccato, it'll act like a pluck too. But if I were to hold it, it wouldn't, because I've still got sustain on there. So I hope that makes sense overall. If I want it to be a pad, I could have a really long attack. And in Serum, you can also change the bend of it, which is pretty cool. So if I want it to really, to really ramp up, I can mess with that as well. Cool. So I think you guys probably sort of understand this, at least if you didn't already. I hope that part is helpful. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can use ADSR envelopes a little bit differently. So let's go back to our example of making a pluck. So I'm going to actually turn off the sustain again, make this attack a little bit more. Okay, so now we got a little pluck. A little bit more. All right. So another way that often you can create even more of a plucky sound or make that a more accentuated thing, a lot of times in sound design, yes, Wux, I can definitely make an uplifter with that envelope. I could show you how to do that too. I'll do that in a second. So another thing you can do is throw this, and you can use multiple envelopes for this. As you can see, Serum has a few. But I'm just gonna put a low pass filter here as well. I'm gonna make it a little sharper so that it's more obvious. I'm gonna make it a 24 slope. So if I put this same envelope on my cutoff of my filter, the filter is also going to open and close the same as the amplitude does. So when the amplitude is at its highest, the filter is going to be completely open. But when it's at its lowest, it's going to be completely closed. Or, I could adjust that. But so because I have some resonance, that's what's giving it that cool like acidy sound. But so that's very like that housey. I mean, if I put a reverb on this and some delay. So that gives you just that more crisp kind of delay, or that plucky sound. Because as you can see, as I play it, it's opening and closing the filter as well. All right, I'm going to turn off the delay and the reverb for now. But anyway, so that's another thing. Also, let's say I want it to be even pluckier. I'm talking a lot about plucks today, but I'm going to use a different envelope here and make it really short in a second. But just thinking about the best way to do this in Serum. So something I can do, and I would have to adjust the matrix. I'm not going to, if you guys don't understand this part, this is a little bit more complicated, but, oh yeah, okay. So I want it to do this, and I'm going to make this super, super short. Okay, so you hear that extra bit of like crispness on the top of the, that punch at the top of the pluck. So if I bypass it, you'll be able to hear the difference. So that's without it, and then with it. You've got that like punchiness at the beginning. That's because what I've done is I have it right at the beginning playing like a super high note. Like it's whatever the maximum is here. I don't even know how many octaves this can go up. I don't know. 4. Okay, 4 octaves. So it's playing at 4 octaves above, but before you can even perceive it, before the listener can really even hear it, it's already reduced down to the 0 octave to where the sound's supposed to be. But that little instant of it going, like coming down, it actually makes it sound like a punchy sound. So it can even give you a little bit more punch to your plucks. So yeah, super common in housey tracks and stuff. So yeah, anyway, that's just another cool little trick. But ADSR, the key is to understand that like ADSR, the automatic one for amplitude in Serum is going to be your first envelope, but you can use it on tons of different stuff. But it's super important to know how to shape your sound, because otherwise you won't be able to make a pluck versus a pad versus a different kind of sound. So anyway, you can make all sorts of unique kind of creations by messing around with this. So the question that I saw in there was, what should I do here? I'm just gonna bypass that. Can I make an uplifter with this? Yeah. So let's say, I prefer probably for that to use an LFO, at least in Serum, unless I want to do some math, because the envelope is based on seconds, whereas the LFO, I can base it on the rate, which is easier because then if I'm putting it into a track that's 128 BPM and then I change the tempo of the track, it'll change with it, whereas the seconds will just stay the same. So yes, I absolutely could make an uplifter. Let's say like that. And what I could do, I mean, it depends what I want to do, but I could throw this on, the pitch, something like that. Or you know what? Not on there. I don't want to put it on there. I would put it on the pitch bend and have it go up 24. I'm sorry, I can't drag it on there, but I can do envelope 1, put it on the global master tuning and have it go all the way. And now it should work, I think. Oh, no, because I have the filter on. Okay, so that's maybe a little too crazy, but does the job generally. So yeah, I mean, that's essentially what you're saying. So the reason I would try to do it in an LFO usually, I'm going to reset this to something normal. Okay. I want to make sure I turn off this guy. Okay. So I would set it to, let's say, oh no, that's not what I wanted. 16 bars, have it go like this or like that, and then put this LFO onto the same thing. So, I could do it LFO 1. An LFO is a low frequency oscillator, by the way, guys. What it means is that essentially the difference between an LFO and an envelope is that usually an LFO repeats itself, but also that an LFO is usually based on, it can be based on time, but it's usually based on the rate. So, how many bars, how many, quarter notes or whatever. And so it's a similar function. You can attach it to different things, but it's usually better for repeated or for rate-based sounds. So if I now do it, I think I just did it. So, oh yeah, but I want it to trigger from the beginning. So I'm going to make it shorter just so you can get the idea. So yeah, I mean, that's generally the idea. You could also do, I can turn on just the noise envelope, turn off the oscillators, or sorry, the noise oscillator. And so I can do it with like a white noise or something. Where's the white noise? Why am I losing the white noise? You guys will probably find it before I do. It's not under attacks. Why am I blind today? Bright white, that'll do. Okay. So what I can do is I can put a filter on it. I can put the same thing on the filter. I want to make sure the noise oscillator is selected. That's what these are. It's saying basically what should my filter be affecting? A oscillator, B oscillator, noise oscillator, or sub oscillator. So now, I mean, I don't really need these, but that's weird. Why didn't it? Oh. Huh. Why isn't that? Don't know why that's not doing what I thought it would do. Let me see. That's strange. I'm probably just doing something really stupid. Huh. Okay, I don't know why that's happening, but I'm probably just missing something and being dumb, but huh, that's weird. Okay, anyway, I do that all the time, so I'm not sure why that would be happening right now. But so yeah, anyway, in theory, it should work. But anyway, you can do that with a noise oscillator as well. And basically, I mean, it won't do much if you're using the pitch, the master tuning, but it should, you can do it with the amplitude over time, and you can also do it with the filter over time so that it slowly rises. That really annoys me. Why is that not doing what I want it to do? All right, maybe because something's weird. I think it's glitching on me because it won't even let me. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. Anyway, maybe I'm being dumb. You guys can probably point out what I'm doing wrong, but I'm not gonna waste all your time on that. But so yeah, I mean, I hope this was helpful for those of you who maybe don't have as good of an understanding of the ADSR envelope and tricks and tips and stuff with that. I'll continue to do stuff like this and try and show you things that'll be useful. If there's anything specific that you guys want to know, please, shoot me some feedback. Otherwise, I'm just coming up with stuff, and that's kind of what I've been doing so far. But would love to do things that you guys are struggling with or that you think will be helpful for most people in the group. But I can show you sound design related stuff. I can show you music theory related stuff. I can show you best practices for your DAW. I don't know, all sorts of things. I can answer questions. We could do a Q&A, and I could answer questions about how to build your business or whatever. So I'm all here to help you guys out, and I'll be doing this every week. So on that note, I think I've kind of talked about what I wanted to show you, and we can do more next time. But I will jump into the track feedback session now. So if you haven't yet, please submit your track at the link above in the live stream feedback channel. And I'm going to go in random order, so don't worry if I skip you. I'll likely come back to you. There aren't too many submissions yet today, so I will start us off today with all right, I'm getting a pop-up here. Come on, go away. Wow, my computer is being slow. Sorry, guys. I've got a Bad Bitch arrangement by Wux. Nice. All right. So I dig that. You've been sending in some fire tracks lately for sure. Um, I really only have one comment. I mean, I think the production quality is great. I think that the mix is good. I don't have too much negative, at least, to say, but what I would say here is not something that's wrong with the track, but this would be my suggestion. Is this section right here? So that melody of the bass, that na 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 na, it the rest of your song is so dark sounding and like definitely minor key, and um, this part almost sounds like happy. It's like that melody almost sounds like it's from like a major key song, and you know it's not out of key, but it's like you're playing, like, let's say your keys in A minor, you then play this part in C major, because those all have the same notes. If you know music theory, A minor has the same notes as C major, but if you play something in C major, it's going to sound a lot happier than something that's played in A minor. So um, my point is that I would totally, personally, I would change that melody and make it something darker, grimier, something that's going to really build up tension and build up anticipation for that last, like, dirty build or dirty drop, you know? So I would work on that. That's really the only thing I was kind of like, you know, it kind of loses the hook that it had in me at that part. But other than that, I really like it. I think you did a great job. So thanks for sending it in, and keep doing so. Um, all right, man. I'm gonna need a new computer soon, man. These things are starting to slow down. All right, Piranha Gangsta Rap. All right, guys. Thank you. Sorry the music, all the audio issues today. It's weird. I didn't change anything, so I don't know why things are not loud enough or whatever. But there's always a delay between when I actually make a change and when you hear it, because there's obviously a delay between when I speak and when I'm playing stuff and when it actually gets streamed. But only a slight delay. But that's why I said, was it better? And then it wasn't better for you yet, but then it was. Okay, so let me know if I still need to do more. But that's really good, Piranha. I mean, that's a great track, man. I don't really have nothing to say. I think maybe I don't know if it's finished. Really more visually than by ear, I can kind of see that maybe you need to do some mastering. I mean, there's a lot of dynamics here, which is not such a bad thing, but just it's hard for me to tell because I'm listening to a bunch of unfinished tracks and stuff. So I'm not listening to a bunch of finished tracks usually. So I don't have I'm not in the right context to give this advice. So listen to it along with some other songs in this genre that you like that are finished, and just kind of compare in terms of how the loudness is sounding and stuff. But God, people sending money again on YouTube. I don't get the money, guys. So I don't even know where it goes, but thank you. That does not go into my decisions as to whether I select a song or not, but thank you, I guess. Anyway, yeah, I mean the song's great. I don't have too much to say. It's really really nice sounding. There's good full mix, and the sound design is awesome, and it sounds like a complete song. So great start to the week this time, guys. Everything so far has been really really great. Okay, now we got a remix. We got the Fire featuring Solo Lam Calvados remix for Uzi. So let's see how that's sounding. That's odd. It won't let me press the play button. I'm going to try refreshing real quick. Oh, it's gone. Okay, all right. You might have to resubmit that, my friend. So we've got Solidurak Demo 2. Okay, so short and sweet. Musically, it's quite nice. So that's good. Um, so this is a situation where clearly, you're starting out. Um, what I would say is that the choice of instrumentation and the mix, obviously, this is a demo. Obviously, this is not a finished product, but I can still tell that you don't quite have the ear yet for how sounds need to fit together, because there's a ton of low and low mid sounds and there's very little in the high end. So it's very off balance. You've got this piano playing chords, you've got a bass down there, and you've got, I think, another synth or something. They're all kind of playing in that low and mid section, and it just becomes very muddy. Even if you just listen to here when you've got the reverb tail or the delay tail, whatever this is. I mean, that's so much low end coming from a reverb. So your reverb probably has too much low end. So what I would suggest is that you kind of try to fit things together. Try one at a time. You've got your bass, and then bring in your piano, and don't let your piano outshine your bass in the low end. So if you need to, you can EQ the piano a bit, And then you want the piano to have a bit more high frequency. Like, when I play piano, it's got some pretty, you know, high end transients that are usually playing in piano. Right now, yours is kind of dark. Um, and then whatever else shouldn't be outweighing the piano. And so, you kind of just pick a placement for each of these things and don't let any two, three, four instruments all occupy the same space in the frequency spectrum. Right now, they're all living at like 250 hertz or in that range. So, I don't know if that helps. I mean, sometimes it's not that helpful to give advice like that if you're not quite at the level yet where you can do something with the advice, but I think it should. And then the only other thing I really have to say is that your side chain here is a little aggressive and long. It's important to have your side chain timing to be appropriate so that it doesn't sound like off, especially in the beginning when you don't have a kick here. It sounds very long and it makes it sound off. Like it's so long, maybe tone down the side chaining or shorten the length of it at least until the kick comes in. When the kick comes in, it's not as bad. It still, I think, could be fine-tuned, but it's still pretty long. You usually, it's an artistic choice, but most of the time you want your side chain to basically be about as long as the kick. And so that when the kick is gone, it comes back in pretty quickly. Right now you've got kind of a gap between the kick and when the bass comes back in. So anyway, I would, use some inspiration, take a look at some other songs that you like and try and emulate not the song itself, but maybe the way they do their side chain or, some things like that. Or take a listen to a song that you like and look at it in a frequency spectrum analyzer and see, wow, my track has so much of a bump in the low end, whereas theirs does not. And you can kind of see, hey, maybe I need to tone that down and whatever. So anyway, I hope that helps. But musically, like I said, it's very nice. So nice job. Okay. What are we doing here? All right, we've got Morpheus, V12-2 by Thomas Barty. Okay, so I mean, we're on a great roll today. I don't have too much to say. Again, I think that this advice over here is kind of useless. A different drop would be even better. Um, thanks, dude. Appreciate that. Um, I don't know if he means a different drop, like the second drop should be different than the first, but I disagree. If that's the case, I think that's what he means, maybe. Or no, yeah, okay, maybe. Um, I think this song is nice and short and concise. It's not a 5 minute song with three drops. And the drop is interesting enough to where I think you can basically repeat it. You know, you do something slightly different in the second part, as one should usually, but it doesn't need to be completely replaced. I think the melody's great. The groove is nice. I mean, I think it's mixed quite well. I mean, I'm quite impressed by it. So yeah, I mean, I like it. I don't. I think you should release it. I mean, I don't have too much to say. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm just at a loss, so that's a good thing. So nice job. I would love to hear more stuff from you. So thanks a lot. Um, guess that wasn't too constructive, but you know, sometimes there's just not much constructive to say. All right, so we've got EPO photo tribal trap. Is tribal okay? Tribal trap's the label or the site. We got EPO photo. I can tell that I'm a style. In the club we always bring a crowd. Leave your girl, she might be a while. I can see you in the corner staring, motherfucker, you should take a photo. Oh no, I'm about to go, yo. Shorty drop a low to pick it up, she like a yo-yo. When I'm getting so much action, I should be sponsored by GoPro. Back with a little more Hennessy inside of Marisola. When I'm back, crazy man, I'm back. Baby, everybody in the club say this track wavy, I get stacks daily, man, these jeans don't faze me. I was about to catch a body, but the DJ saved me. I can tell that I'm a style. Okay. In the club we always bring a crowd. Okay. Leave a girl, she might be a while. Okay. I can see you in the corner staring, motherfucker, you should take a photo. Photo. I swear it will last longer if you take a photo. Photo. I swear it will last longer if you take a photo. I can see you in the corner staring, motherfucker, you should take a photo. I swear it will last longer if you take a photo. I swear it will last longer if you take a photo. Oh no, me ain't got no ego, but someone always taking flicks and shit wherever. I call that shit a kilo. They A-class with them beat cops and all they carry C-notes. Them all type, them make fake, wanna be me, amigo. So welcome out to my town, you can swim and you can get down. Shit, I'm steady walking on clouds, you should take a picture right now. I can tell that I'm a style. Okay. In the club we always bring a crowd. Okay. Leave a girl, she might be a while. Okay. I can see you in the corner staring, motherfucker, you should take a photo. I swear it will last longer if you take a photo. I can see you in the corner staring, motherfucker, you should take a photo. I swear it will last longer if you take a photo. I can tell that I'm a style. In the club we always bring a crowd. Leave a girl, she might be a while. I can see you in the corner staring, motherfucker, you should take a photo. I swear it will last longer if you take a photo. Nice. So, wow. I mean, today this might break a record for the most like well-produced tracks that we've gotten. So the instrumental's great. You know, I think that there's some things you could do to make some of the sounds a little bit more unique and interesting, and not like done before. It's really well produced, really well mixed, really good sound design. Um, I do feel like that there isn't anything in the instrumental that I haven't heard before. And again, I'm only giving you this kind of critique because I don't have much to say about the actual production quality. I kind of have to find something. But I think that you could be a little bit more creative with the lead sounds and stuff. I think that some things have you know been done. But anyway, that being said, I do feel that the sub could have been mixed better. I think that I didn't really feel it. It's this is a heavy trap song, and it just isn't as heavy as it should be because that sub isn't like banging, and so I mean that's hard to do. But I think you did a great job of having the vocal be loud and clear, and having the other things be mixed well together. But that sub is the only thing I feel is missing a little bit of power. Um, that being said, I think the vocal is cool. I think that's a pretty unique part. I think it's. I mean, I don't know if it's you singing or what, but it's you got a cool voice on there. Um, the one thing I would say is that, firstly, I felt that it does get a little repetitive. And this is maybe personal preference, but I thought one thing with it is that it's really on and on and on. Like there are some pauses in the song, but even when there are pauses in parts, you've got like a delay playing, so you're still kind of having the vocal playing. So like I feel like silence could help you a little bit, like not having so many lyrics or at least not having them play for so much of the song, having some parts where you draw them out and bring them back in a little bit more. Because it was starting to get a little bit like exhausting for my ears a little, especially because by the end you've now repeated some of the same lines so many times that it was just a little much for me. But other than that, I mean, it's a really well produced song. The quality's great. It's already been released. I'm just trying to give you some advice for maybe the next one. Yeah, nice job. I mean, I'm really blown away by the quality today. So nice work. Okay, we've got our friend Martin Oakson here with Too Many Chances. I think it's been a little while since we've heard from him, so let's hear it. All right, so I really like the idea. I think the chord progression, melody, and all of that, the vocal are all very cool, and I love the concept. So first, I'll say I think that you need to sidechain your bass more. This song just doesn't have the groove that I would like it to have. I want it to really be pumping. Not like a progressive house song, but like that bass line needs to have a little bit of groove. Right here, it almost sounds like it's just sustained. It's not dipping at all. Like maybe slightly, but like I really want it to dip out more and just make me bump my head a little bit more. The vocal is good. My first thing I'll say is that it's a little harsh. I think that maybe an EQ or de-essing thing. Like every time there's an S, it's very harsh. That sound. And then I do think that in a 4-minute and 45-second song, this vocal gets a little repetitive. I'm gonna guess that it's a sample, and that's why you don't have like more lyrics and stuff, which is totally fine. But what I would do is maybe consider at certain part dropping it down an octave or two so that it's almost like a female and male duet, and so that actually, in my opinion, would make it less repetitive. You'd kind of, we got way too many chances, you kind of have like both kind of talking to each other. I think that would be cool, and I think it would sound good. Yeah, I see you said that you use kickstart, which totally is fine. Maybe, I don't know if you have a compressor after that somewhere in the chain too, because that can kind of undo some of your side chain work. But anyway, so those are a couple things. And then I feel like some parts, and I know this is probably a work in progress, but some parts feel a little unfinished. Like, don't neglect your outro. Like that's, if anything, shorten it. I think that 442 is pretty long, even with an intro and outro. I mean, you've just got drums and like one effects riser here. Like, it's not really adding anything to the song. I would probably, at a minimum, add back in your chords and your sub, and maybe just auto filter it out, but don't take it out completely, because it kind of loses, the thing of the song. So. And there's just a few parts like that where I feel like there could be a lipping. Same with over here. No, that part's fine actually. But yeah, just try and get each sound to sound as good as possible, and just focus on that, and maybe condense it a little bit. But it's really good though. I really like it. The vocals are good. The music itself is good, but just work on it a little bit more to get it to its highest potential. Anything I can tell you that will work from me? Oh, from WA. I was like, okay, from me. Send me a message after. I don't want to have everybody listen to our back and forth, but maybe. It depends what you need. I can probably give you some advice. Anyway, this is about the end of our rope today. Yes, we have Dodge Pro, Martin, to answer your question. Dodge Pro, but Kickstart's totally fine. I mean, it's a similar type of thing, but if there's anything that we have that's similar, it's Dodge Pro if you want to check it out. Anyway, this has been Josh from WA Production. We're going to call it a day for today, but I will be back next week. I don't know what we'll do over the holidays, but I'll let you guys know. But next week I should be here. This has been great. You guys, I mean, everything you sent today was awesome. So really nice job. And I'm looking forward to some other great tracks next time. Please send in advice for what I should talk about in my next session. I'm all ears. I want to do things that are going to make you guys interested and help you guys as much as possible. So that's going to be it for today. Josh from WA Production,